movie I watched this week, and I did a very brief reaction to, is it's called Sardar Udham. It's on Amazon. It's really easy to find. It's one of the hardest movies I've ever watched to get through. It was an excellent film, but it was there's very dark section of it. It follows it's set in India, and it's during the British Raj, right after World War I in 1919. There is it's called the Jallianwala is the name of the place where it took place, and there was a massacre there, and not only the massacre itself was horrifying for me to watch, but then it follows this character who's a real person, Udham Singh, and Sardar, I believe, means Sikh, but I could be wrong on that. But that's what I looked it up, and that's what Google told me it meant. He'll delete the scenes, and so this has been recommended to me because I've been watching a lot of this stuff that's like over the top action and more fun, and this was pretty dark. And it follows Udham Singh in his quest to get there's revenge to it, but more so it was to get attention to what happened, because it was something that was heavily covered up. And what it was there was at the time there was concerns of rebellion within India, and there was a protest that was going on, and there was approximately 20,000 people in this small square, and it was a walled-in area, and Gandhi was said to be heading there, and they were concerned it was going to lead to more rebellion. So the governor who was in charge at the time sent the worst guy he knew to go and take care of this, with orders basically to shoot to kill immediately. So this guy was okay with doing it. And so what happened was it was a walled in area. He rolled in with 50 guys and Enfield 303s and bolt action, and ordered them to open fire on the crowd. No warning shots. If there were people who weren't aiming at people in the crowds, he would go and correct them individually. And so it was like his whole plan was to kill as many people as he possibly could. So kids as young as 6-week-old were shot. Estimated dead for anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000, and it went on for 10 minutes. So 10 minutes of nonstop firing and reload and fire until they're almost out of ammo. And so the main character, Udham Singh, was supposed to have been there that day, but he happens to not have been there, so he didn't get shot. He spent all that night trying to get the wounded to a hospital. But there was also a curfew on. So if you were caught out, you would be shot too. And so it was this game of trying to get as many people to a hospital as he could. And this went on all night long, and trying to get people things like water because they were wounded or dying. And so that part of the movie, even though it's happens closer to the end, it actually is the beginning, because after that he joins part of actually they were linked to the Communist Party group that was sort of trying to start an insurgency within India, which didn't work. They all got killed except for him. And so
wait, can I interrupt?
Yeah.
So did I hear you correctly that a communist group was trying to foment change by mass killing indiscriminately? Is that what I heard?
Well, what he was doing was they were linked up with them, and then also the Irish Republican Army.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, because it sounds like they were doing communism right, I guess, right? I mean, that's kind of it's a terrible thing, but it's like let's not pretend any differently. It's horrifying. It's absolutely horrifying. But let's also acknowledge what communism is and does.
So I believe this incident happened in April, and it was covered up to the point where it didn't reach Britain until December. So it was hidden pretty well. Eventually there was an investigation which went through, and so everything in this film is stuff that actually happened, and you can document it, so you can go back and find out what was said by who. And so there's chunks of the movie that are missing time because Udham Singh at the end is executed. And he never talks about any of it. So all the stories put together by people who talk to him. So almost always there's other people in the scene with him. So we don't know what's happening when he's not on camera. But what he does is there's the general who was in charge on site of the executions. He'd already died. So he went after eventually and to assassinate the governor who ordered it in the first place. And it took him years to get close enough to do it. And then he had to do it in a way where it would get the attention to the massacre that he wanted. So he didn't just kill him, even though he had opportunities to. It had to be in the right place at the right time. And so the stuff he had to do to get through included walking through Afghanistan, through Russia. And then he got like some dog sled rides, almost died several times, got to England, had to flee England multiple times too, because they were on to him. And eventually he did pull it off, and it did get attention. Obviously, you shouldn't kill anybody, but it was the way they portrayed the shooting was just like it gut ripping. You expect it, and like I've seen stuff in real life that's really bad too. Like, so I don't have a weak stomach, but it just went on and on and on and on in the film, and so in real life it was 10 minutes of reloading. And the general who was ordered that day, he knew beforehand that there was going to be a protest. He didn't try to stop it. He waited for it to start, locked all the doors out, and the whole plan was to shoot as many people as he could. And he said that if he didn't kill enough people, they would just come back the next day and make him look like a fool. So he couldn't have that. So there was nobody who got out of there because he let them. They eventually ran out of ammo, and he got concerned that the remaining crowd would turn on him. And they had machine guns on their motorized vehicles, but they couldn't fit through the alley. And he said his testimony was if he could have got them through the alley, he would have used them too, and just indiscriminately murdered people. So, and the film was made by Amazon, but it kind of got suppressed because it's people were concerned it was going to incite British hate. But in the movie, I didn't feel that it really tried to do that. In fact, the main character, Udham Singh, he says the opposite. Like, he doesn't hate British people, his British friends, but he wanted to get this word out, and this one guy he thought was evil, and he wanted to make him the example. And so it's a very complicated thing. And so I'd like to show the trailer to give you guys an idea. And I do recommend you watch it, but man, like, it's
be ready.
It's brutal. Yeah.
I wonder if that was like a creative decision on the director's part to go like, hey, we're going to play this scene and we're going to do it for a while and we're going to make our audience uncomfortable. It's kind of like speaking of Mel Gibson earlier, Passion of the Christ, right? That scene is like haunting, is horrifying.
Yes, absolutely.
Crucifixion is the worst form. It's the most embarrassing. It is the most humiliating, the most torturing or torturous, and the most brutal way of putting on display a murder. And Mel Gibson was like, I'm showing all of it. We are showing everything from Pontius Pilate to whipping on the stone, all the way to where he is hung up on the cross. And I think he intentionally did that because he is of the Catholic faith, to show the immense brutality of that scene. So I wonder if that was the same thought process here of like, we need to make people uncomfortable to feel that same feeling. What do you think, Zach?
I think that's probably exactly right. It showed the rawness of it. It showed things that you didn't need to see, but that you can't unsee after you do see them. And it just
sort of ingrains it into your brain. It's sort of just in there. You can't unsee it, right?
And it's funny how we're used to seeing a certain amount of gore, but then we expect it to be taken away. Like, they'll show a bit of it, then it's going to cut to something else, right? And there's going to be a relief there. And there's really not. Because after the shooting's done, he's trying to get these kids onto like a wheelbarrow to try to get them out. The ones who are still alive, some of them are dead. It's just like, it's harsh, but it's what happened, and they did get the word out by it. And let's sort of back to like the working with the other groups. The working with the IRA and the communists in Russia never worked out for anyone. It just they screwed them all over. They all got screwed over,
and eventually. They're doing it right now. I'm just gonna say that doing it right now.
So it was something I had to watch, and so I was talking to someone on Twitter who'd recommended me to watch it, and he was saying, like, so when you start that scene, he said it's important that you don't turn it off. So don't go do something else. Sit through the whole thing. And so I did that, and I was like, okay, whatever. Like, yeah, I can sit through that. But it was, I see why now he gave that advice. So Snowdub, sorry, the bit of a downer, but it's congrats, Zach. Yeah. Thank you, Snowdub. Live. I will give you a clip, and then we'll show the trailer, and then I'll let you guys decide if you want to watch it or not. But it's on Amazon. It was an Amazon film, so it was just it's just shows a dark time and a few dark people who one of the justifications was if we do this here, it'll save millions of lives later by not having a larger rebellion come. That was kind of the justification given. But yeah, anyway, here we go.
So, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
I took my headphones off, and I'm like, that looks like Conan. I thought we were watching a trailer.
Now like, I'll play this trailer.
Looks like a good trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I'm into this. All right.
All right. I remember I do this.
I just wanted to. Are you going to go to the trailer? I'm sorry, I had a audio outage. I just wanted to say hail to Snowdub. Snowdub Live. Max, you met him. I met him. Really great dude, and of course his son Snowdub Jr. Snow Kid, great guy. If you haven't subscribed to Snowdub Live, please kick him a sub, and I'll try and kick it in the stream. But I just wanted to shout out Snowdub, and I miss you too, brother. You're a good dude.
Amen. We
thank you for coming by, and thank you for being on the show here too. So I very much appreciate that, Snowdub.
Hail to Snowdub. Missing you already, man. Jolly himself was real handsy on what was it, Sunday night? Yeah, Sunday night. He and Punk were both getting handsy on Purple and I. Even Tugs was there, and they were just loving the ladies. So Snow, it's great to see you, brother, but man, Jolly, we gotta get him under control.
Yeah, he needs a sensitivity training course. I don't think he'd pass it. But
yeah,
that's why it's good to be the photographer, and I didn't get anywhere near those puppets that night.
Oh yeah, they'll get you.
Okay, so let's try to show this trailer. Captions on. You guys don't have audio, do you?
You have it muted
no sound.
on
It looks like you're muted.
Yeah.
No, but I made it full screen, so you're good to go on subs.
Okay. Thank you. You hear it now? Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fire!
पासपोर्ट लाहौर एक हथियार चाहिए मुझे अफगानिस्तान में मिल जाएगा
It is not only our right but our duty to rule India. Thank you very much. Thank you.
भगत सिंह से आखिरी मुलाकात कब हुई तुम्हारी? पकड़े जाने से पहले क्या कह रहा था वो? कहीं बाहर जाकर सपोर्ट खड़ा करने को बोला था। अब वर्ल्ड पावर इंपीरियलिस्टिक ब्रिटिश के खिलाफ आपकी आवाज उठानी बहुत जरूरी है। When did you plan the assassination? 21 साल इंतजार किया मैंने। कोई कंट्री किसी इंसान को पनिश करे तो लॉ, पर कोई कंट्री किसी कंट्री के अगेंस्ट क्राइम करे, क्या आपका लॉ उसे क्राइम मानता है?
Freedom is my birthright, and fighting for freedom is no crime.
Well,
yeah. What a way to end a trailer right there. Good Lord.
Yeah.
And so it was not only was that was like disturbing to watch, but it was some of the stuff that was said afterwards and that is written down as testimony. Things like they asked if he considered first aid to the people who were wounded. He said, no, that's not my job. There's hospitals for that. And so if they can get to the hospital, they can get first aid, except there was a curfew. So if you try to get to the hospital, you get shot. It was so just like the very, very callous by a few people, but a few people can get some horrible things done. So that's Sardar Udham. That's kind of where I'll leave that. And I recommend giving it a watch if you have the stomach for it.
And to be fair, you know, putting the story behind and the politics behind it, and the, you know, it looks really well made, and like the actors look like they are putting everything into it. Like just from that short, if you ask me, what do you want to watch, Thor: Love and Thunder or Sardar Udham, I would watch Sardar Udham.
Yeah,
it just looks much more real. The costume design, everything looks very well done. So I'm surprised. I wasn't expecting, you know, that level of production value to it.